orientation program on development and utilization of e-resources. I will straight away request research scientist EMMRC Dr. Salima Jan to present welcome address.
Really my privilege to welcome you all this morning. Indeed, I must first thank Professor Zohur Ahmad Saad for collaborating with us and allowing us to organize such an orientation program. So how is it possible for us to organize such orientation programs without having one in the college where Professor Zohur Ahmad Saad is the principal and he being so dynamic and upright. So sir, thank you very much for that. This is really a great moment for all of us because we are starting this orientation program. I'll briefly say that this orientation program is one of the series of orientation programs that EMMRC is organizing in various colleges located in different districts of the valley of J&K state. We started from Ladakh, then to Srinagar, now we are in South Kashmir. The objective of these orientation programs are manifold, but to be specific, I would like to say that we want to make our students aware about different e-resources that are available for their benefit. Dear students, as you all know, that times is changing and the world has already changed into a sort of a wireless system. Our economic system has already changed from barter system, now we have market-oriented economies. From interpersonal communication, you have cyberspace communication. Then how can education be an exception? Isn't it? So these days you talk of e-banking, you talk of e-commerce. I say that education has already embraced this change as it itself starts with the letter E. So it's e-education. So dear students and colleagues, through these orientation programs, we would like to make you aware that how India really kept pace with these changing times and particularly Indian higher education system and what are the steps that India took to bridge the digital divide and to narrow down the gap between the less privileged and more privileged students. When I was in degree college, Pulwama, 2 years back, there were 6,000 students. When I asked how many computers the college have, they said 20. So you can imagine the ratio. So there is a digital divide between haves and have-nots. Above all, my dear colleagues, our aim is to build capacity. When I say build capacity, by capacity building, I mean to say that how can our teachers contribute in making valid and reliable content for the benefit of the students. As you all know, this time we have huge number of content available on internet. But the question of reliability is always a concern. So if our colleagues will join hands with EMMRC and they will strengthen our arms, if they will really contribute and make good content available for the students, and this way they can become a major player in making mission education through ICT a success. Now the question that some of us ask us that why is technology important for education? I'll briefly say here, last year when Kapil Sibal was the MHRD minister, they released some data. They said that this time India is having 90 million college-age citizens. And out of these 90 million college-age citizens, only 12% attend colleges. And if India wants to retain the current GDP level, then another 14% must join college by 2014. So what can be the best option? As you all know, we have paucity of infrastructure. I was just now talking to Professor Saad. He was saying that we have 7,000 students, then 135 teachers. So paucity of teachers, paucity of infrastructure. So what can be the best option other than the technology? I do not say that technology will replace teacher. I'm not pitching teacher against technology, but what I want to say that this can be a best tool for the teachers to educate their students. I'll briefly mention here Nandan Nilekani. When Nandan Nilekani wrote book Imagining India, and in introductory pages he said that what does technology do? He said it reduces drudgery. Like when I was a student at Aligarh, 20 years back, going home was really a big problem. Air ticket, train ticket, we had to depute somebody to Delhi to get the ticket. But this time you can do it and clip. I need not to mention it, I'm just saying it. So it reduces drudgery. So what is important for all of us? Important is that we have to know what are the different educational technologies as well as different education material available for our benefit. As you all know, this time social media, I mean Facebook, it really has changed the pattern of behavior as well as sociability among our young generation. Isn't it? That's true. But the only thing is that they also now have to change their attitude towards education. They can use this media. When I was in Mumbai 5-6 months back for a conference, I was really amazed at how students of Mumbai University were having wiki spaces. Is wiki space a simple social media, and how they used to make learning communities and share their material, and teacher was also just guiding them in that endeavor. Lastly, I have an open invitation for all my colleagues, for all the teachers, that if you have really an idea, you can come to us. We will transform that into digital form, and take it to the larger audience. Now you will say that why is it important? Because it is important. As if I ask you a question, how many of us in this hall know that this time Kashmir, I mean the Kolahi Glacier, which is the lifeline of the southern Kashmir, is the fastest receding glacier in the world, and 18% of the glacier has already gone. When we made a film on global warming, which we will be also here showing you, so you will come to know. Or sometimes very academic questions like, how do plants or how do trees survive when there are no trees? Because in Kashmir, trees shed their this. There are no leaves. There are no leaves, because leaves are the kitchen of the plant or of the trees. So these are the things that we are social science programs. So these are the programs. So if you have an idea, please come to us. We welcome you. So with these few words, I thank you all for coming here. I welcome you for this orientation program. And once again, thank you, Professor Zuhur Ahmad Shah.
May I request Engineer Rashid Saab to please showcase the Tarana.
Come there. Can you arrange my presentation from that side?
I request representative of Government Degree College. Is requested to receive. Thank you very much. As I said earlier, that principal.
Colleagues from the host college, colleagues from Government Degree College Tral, Government Degree College Kulgam, and Women College Anantnag, students from all the mentioned colleges, friends, Assalamu alaikum. It's indeed a pleasure for me that my friend Dr. Shahid Rasool thought it proper to collaborate with this institution with regard to conduct of the orientation program for the faculty of the students and the students with regard to the use of the e-content, development of the e-content, and the use of the e-content for transacting the teaching learning process in the higher educational institutions. As underlined by Dr. Salima Jan, the revolutionary steps that have been taken by the Government of India vis-a-vis to take the higher education to as much number of students as possible, because this has been over the years a great impediment for the Government of India, that it has not been in a position to raise the access rate of the students to higher education institutions beyond 15%. It's a major concern at the moment with the Government of India, and it's not the concern which is felt just with regard to providing the chances of education, higher education to more and more students, but it has become over the years an impediment for the Government of India to seek the status of full membership of the UN General Council. Government of India has claimed over the past some time the permanent seat in the General Council of the United Nations, and some of the criteria which is laid for the purpose. One of the criterion is the access rate of the relevant age group to higher education institutions. And the position of India in this regard is not so encouraging. Therefore, what is thought about is that the government of India shall not be in a position to open up as many higher educational institutions as is required, because it needs huge investment in terms of the physical infrastructure, in terms of the human infrastructure, which is practically not possible to do it in a very short period of time. Times have changed. If other governments of the world have been in a position to raise the access rate of the students to higher education, the best possible use of e-content has been taken care of. The government of India is perhaps thinking about a very important dimension of the higher education of starting the virtual institutions, virtual universities, virtual colleges, where the knowledge and information shall be shared to as many students and to distant quarters of the country through e-content. The teachers, the students of the contemporary times cannot remain aloof from the use of the e-content. Because through the use of the e-content, a teacher can reach to as many students possible as he desires. However, we in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, maybe it's not true about other states, but here in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, we have a problem with regard to development of the e-content and with regard to the utilization of the e-content. How to develop, how to take advantage of the e-content technology which is already available, and we are not, unfortunately, making use of that technology for better results of the higher education. Therefore, it is imperative for all of us as members of the faculty of various institutions, as students of the contemporary times, that we become acquainted with both the two aspects, the development of the e-content and how that e-content is to be utilized for better and effective results. And perhaps the objective of organizing this one-day orientation program for the faculty shall be with regard to with having the same objectives in mind, that how to develop the e-content and how that e-content can be utilized for effective and efficient results. This is a small type activity today going to take place for whole of the day, in the sense that it is more of the awareness nature. The purpose of this workshop, this orientation program, is the awareness with regard to the development and the utilization of the e-content. We can collaborate in a bigger way also with EMMRC, which is one of the 22 centers created by the University Grants Commission for the purpose. We can have collaborations with this center vis-a-vis how actually these programs are to be developed, how the teachers can be made clear as to how e-content can be actually used, how they can develop the e-content. We are part and parcel of the system of the higher education in the colleges, and we shall have to collaborate with the centers which are meant for the purpose in the generation of the knowledge and in dissemination of the knowledge to larger number of the students. You cannot now think of your existence in the system unless otherwise you change your behavior towards the process of the teaching learning. Gone are the days when it used to be a one-sided activity being undertaken by the teacher in a classroom situation. The situation, the times have changed, and this change has been brought about by technology. You cannot now remain aloof from the technology. You cannot deny the usage of the technology. And in case any of us denies the usage of the technology, he definitely has to become a redundant person in the system. He shall not find any kind of place of sustenance in the system. So for making sure that we sustain and we continue to contribute in the system, we shall have to undergo a change in terms of developing our senses, developing our minds, developing our thoughts on the lines of the use of the technology which is already existent. Therefore, we can in future also collaborate with EMMRC, University of Kashmir, in conducting extensive activities with regard to the actual usage of this e-content and development of the e-content. How we can have a hand on technology. We definitely shall have to have a hand on technology. We cannot just deny it. Therefore, I would request the Director EMMRC that perhaps it's not possible within winters. In case it becomes possible during winters also, we shall not be having any kind of objection to it. We can collaborate with teachers of at least this district, from institutions of this district, and make them aware with regard to the actual practice, with regard to actual concept, and with regard to actual application of this e-content in the teaching learning process. Let that be a full-fledged program of a week's orientation program, and we offer from this institution any kind of financial implications that shall be involved in conducting that orientation program. We are ready to bear all that financial implications. Our institution is a very rich institution in all the ways, in all the means, in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the humans, and also in terms of the materialistic means. We don't have problems like that. Therefore, this is offered to the Director EMMRC that he can conceive an idea of holding a comprehensive program for the faculty and the teachers of the institutions of this district, for actually giving a full-fledged and extensive training for the faculty and the students, so that we are in a position to develop the content through e-means and utilize the content through e-means to a wider range of the students. And perhaps that will actually serve the objective of holding these kinds of activities. But today it was necessitated that at least we must become acquainted, at least we must become aware as to what is actually this e-content, the basics of the e-content, basic usage of the e-content. This is a type of awareness program, and I'm sure that the presence and the interaction of the experts from the EMMRC with the faculty of the institutions of district and the students of these institutions, it will definitely give some kind of ray to them and encourage them to learn furthermore on this account. With these words, I thank the officers of Nagar, for I shall have to leave by 12:30. That is perhaps something I am regretful of towards the. Thank you very much.
Encouragement and offer there was, inshallah, our director will definitely think over it. Now I request Professor Shahid Rasool, who will be giving a complete orientation to today's theme, development and utilization of e-resources. He will be giving the holistic view. But before I request him, it's my moral duty to introduce you to Shahid Rasool. Out of University of Kashmir, has done his PhD from University of Kashmir and also a former Fulbright Fellow in Communication Technology. He has done it having 24 years of experience in research, production and direction of educational film and national level television production and research center. He has produced over 300 films, including 123 educational television programs, has also produced the coordinated development of around 400 e-content multimedia modules and over 500 large committee EMMRC, chairman UG and PG Board of Studies in mass computer journals, books. He has also written one book titled Educational Television in India. He has also contributed various reports, policy papers for national level agencies. Organized and attended various academic workshops, training programs, film festivals, expert committee meetings, and conferences. Interest of television and new communication technologies, educational technology and higher education and media studies. Dr. Shahid Rasool.
E-resources in today's world, EMMRC at Srinagar is doing a humble contribution in the form of packaging knowledge in various e-forms, which I will be demonstrating partly in my presentation, and then trying to disseminate that knowledge to the stakeholders, the teachers and the students of the country and the valley in particular. Having said that, I thank you all and I welcome you all to this one-day orientation program with regard to having extensive workshops in e-resource development in various colleges. I am delighted that Professor Chart Sahab, as usual, has volunteered to initiate this process from Degree College Anantnag. So sir, I promise you that we will begin this series of workshops from Anantnag College, and it can happen as soon as possible. Even we are ready to hold such workshops in the college in winter. If the teachers are available, if the college is open, then I think winter is the ideal time. If we can create some heating arrangements around, winter is the ideal time when we can engage in these things, because in summers the teachers must be busy with their academic works. So I promise you, sir, that we will inshallah chalk out a detailed program and have a week-long workshop in creation of the e-contents and ETV programs and other e-resources from this college. And I am more delighted because, whenever you think of an idea to have some program, immediately the first thing that comes to your mind is the financial constraints. And I am delighted that Chart Sahab, as usual, has offered to bear the expenses on account of the workshop. But I will not depend wholly on him. I thank you, sir, for making the offer, but it can be a collaborative venture where we will pool our resources, and make a good workshop in this college. So I again thank Professor Chart Sahab for making himself available today despite having a important meeting with the Commissioner Secretary in Srinagar. He came all the way from Srinagar for this particular orientation program, and we feel, sir, honored and we feel humbled by your presence in this inaugural function. So with that, I will start this presentation briefly, which I have named as Virtual Teaching and Learning, Equalizing Educational Opportunities. You see why it has become important in today's date that we talk about the virtual teaching and learning. It has become a necessity. It has become a requirement because the world is fast changing. As Dr. Salima Jan in her opening remarks said, that education has already embraced the change. It has happened in all the fields. So education cannot stay away from this change.
Excuse me, Shahid Rasool sir.
Additional chairs कर सकते हैं उस साइड में. So Professor Saad Saab in his presidential efforts in getting a permanent seat in United Nations in higher education and our equitable distribution of the educational resources is facing a tough challenge. As you see, that gross enrollment ratio in higher education in today's world is considered as an important indicator of development and prospects of a nation. Higher the numbers, then better the prospects. Today I think we need to change this mic, otherwise I won't be able to concentrate. With technology, and it finally works, and I'm sure that my engineer will repeatedly these terms like knowledge societies. We will be driven with knowledge, and knowledge, that's what we are experiencing also. We are experiencing define the educational resources and going to define and enter into the sphere of GDP at the international level. That's why they say that gross enrollment ratio of a country shall determine the GDP of a country. If you have higher numbers in higher education, if you have higher numbers of qualified and trained people, then you are going to make the best from the knowledge society. APJ Abdul Kalam, the former President of India, wrote a book. And in that book, I think it is India 2020, the vision for new millennium. In the book, he says that India will become a knowledge superpower by 2020. But then he cautions us that this may not happen because we don't have equal opportunities for the students in the country in terms of access to quality education. India is having a huge superstructure for higher education. I mean, if we go by the statistics of the MHRD, over 600 universities, over 32,000 colleges, 14 million students. Is it okay now? Yes. 14.6 million to be precise students and over 500,000 teachers. That means 5 lakh teachers at present. And as per the statistics from the MHRD ministry itself, in today's date, we have a dearth of 3 lakh teachers. Having this huge superstructure for higher education, the gross enrollment ratio of India at present is around 18%, whereas the global average is 23%. Even in the developing countries, the gross enrollment ratio is 36.5%. Developing countries include, these smaller countries, which we don't even name. Then in the BRICS nations, where India is also a part, the gross enrollment ratio is 21%. So we can imagine an India with such a huge superstructure for higher education, our gross enrollment ratio is not going above 18%, whereas in the developed countries in USA, it's 54 to 60%. Now, if we keep in mind what Abul Kalam says, then a minimum 30% GR is to be established by 2020. That is the goal that India has set. That means double the number of the educational institutions are to be established, and the statistics are on the screen. And these additional institutions, which is more than double the number of the existing institutions, the cost will be 9.5 lakh crores. India says we have a lot of money, money is not a problem. Every now and then, new IIMs, new IITs, new NITs, new universities, new colleges are being announced. Good buildings are being made. In fact, recently I was told that a college in Udi has the best possible infrastructure in terms of the buildings. But the buildings don't make colleges. What is required is the faculty. Even in your college where you have 7,000 students, the strength of the teachers is 138. And out of that 138, only 50 are permanent teachers. The rest we depend on the contractual teachers who join us very late. I don't undermine the scholarship, the talent of these young and budding contractual teachers. In fact, they are more talented, they are more educated than probably my generation. But the problem is that they join us late and they never know how long they are going to continue with us. So, we are facing the dearth of the teachers. The another problem with the Indian higher education system is, as I said, access to quality education and equitable distribution of knowledge resources. What is happening is that best institutions, best teachers, best libraries, best laboratories are located in the metropolitan or in the capital cities, whereas the colleges in the semi-urban areas, in the rural areas are bereft of these facilities. SP College with 1500 students and more than 150 or 200 teachers. 1500 students only. Anantnag College, 7,000 students and 138 teachers only. Kupwara College, 38 teachers, 3,500 students. Only 3 permanent teachers. Karna College, I don't want to give the details. Same is good with the colleges in the rural areas. So what's happening is that the students in the rural and the remote areas are not getting access to the quality education. They are not getting access to the quality facilities. They are not getting access to the quality teachers. And this has created a disparity in quality education in terms of rich and poor, in terms of rural, semi-urban and urban, across classes and castes. Fortunately for us, because we are a predominantly Muslim society, we don't have this problem of classes here. Outside in India, you find that the constitution provides equal rights to all, but you can find some colleges which are located in upper caste areas. The students from the lower caste areas will not be allowed to enter those colleges. Though it is not written anywhere, but it is some sort of an inhibition or some sort of a practice that these students don't find space in these colleges. Then across genders, more relevant in our case, that if I have to send my son outside the valley for education, I will gladly do it. But if I have to send my daughter for education outside the valley, I will think 100 times, bachi hai, beti hai, kya karegi, kahan jayegi. But technology is coming to our rescue, this gender case. So this has resulted in what we call educational haves and have-nots. So what is the solution to this problem? You see, if India has to become a developed country, as Madam was saying in the beginning, she gave some figures that 40 million more students have to enroll, and India has a huge population, as Nandan Nilekani she referred to. Nandan Nilekani says in the same book somewhere that when the world is aging, India's advantage lies in its young population. India has 40% population in the age group of 13 to 35. So if we provide quality education to this age group, 13 to 35, which is 40% of the current population of India, then Nilekani says that if these are the people who can be trained, who can be taught, who can be made professionally strong, and they will become the world's, major labor force. When I say labor, I don't mean masons and I don't mean the ordinary laborers on the roadside. I mean they can become the technocrats and they can become the leaders at the global level and bring a lot of foreign currency to the country. And that is what APJ Abdul Kalam has based his thesis on, that India can become a developed country by 2020, provided we provide equal opportunities for our young generation of teaching and learning, which unfortunately are confined to the IIMs and IITs and some universities. So what we are left with is sharing of resources. We have to find smart and innovative integration of information communication technology in an open and flexible academic structure. And fortunately for us, the 21st century, which is called the age of seamless education, provides us a hope. And this hope is based on the convergence of technologies that is taking place. This hope is based on the penetration of the electronic gadgets that are there. 10 years back, it was difficult to think about owning a cell phone. I remember in 1998, 1999 when I was in USA, and this Sardarji was using this cell phone like a pager. Receive the call because incoming calls were also charged at that time $5, $4 per minute. So he will know that 98, 99 is not far. It is just recently. And today you can laugh at such a situation. Today cell phones have penetrated down to the grassroots. Cell phones are available even in the villages where there is no electricity. And I was asked this question last time. आपने तो अपनी speech में कहा कि they go to the neighboring villages and charge the phones. It has transformed. Technology has come into every field. So when technology, Dr. Salimajan, because nothing is good and bad, When electricity came, people started, shivering. Bijli hai. People will not eat the rice that is cooked in a rice cooker. बिजली से बनता है, क्योंकि बिजली से करंट भी लगती है, बिजली से आपका फैन भी चलता है, एसी भी चलता है. So electricity has never designed it for the destruction of the humanity. Being used, in a different phase. Science depends on how creatively we can use it. I was heading Department of Mass Communication for 3.5 years. All the students during those 3-4 years were my Facebook friends. They were forced to become my Facebook friends. I encouraged them to use Facebook. So 100% attendance, immediately I will get to know who has seen the notice. And the results were fun, sharing our profile pictures. So that we have to embrace this technology for the good of. The principal of the host institution has left, and we request Professor Ali Muhammad Dar Sahab to preside over the function, and he has already taken the chair. So with the 21st century is the age of seamless education. It does not is happening with education. It has made access to quality education from the resources that are available on internet. I met number of people in Mumbai and Delhi, and they told me that they are engaging classes of educational institutions in nature. But in the night hours, our teachers give tutorials, they give lectures, they see their homework, they check their answers in the night. Also very expensive. It was difficult to buy a book. In today's date, a student can afford to get the educational resources from outside the class also. He can move beyond opportunities, and that alone shall determine the profit that one can make. This, he wrote in his book, The World is Flat. And Friedman visited Infosys in Bangalore, and he could see Nandan Nilekani showing time for Paris, time for London, time for New York, time for Dubai, time for Sydney. And he asked him, office in Bangalore was doing business for all these countries. That's what from this new technology. When he says that technology has made the earth flat, he also takes into account that Bill Gates and Shahid Rasool. Most of my friends and colleagues here in this hall have electronics in any part of the world. So the gadgets are, the technology is with us. It's only how we can make the use of this technology for our own area. That we missed to a great extent green revolution, though we have a lot of greeneries because of thanks to Swami Narayan, make use of it for education. Because your ward spend most of the time with the parents, and whatever you teach your child, he is going to be put in that mold. गुरुकुल टाइप ऑफ टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग. बच्चा जाता था गुरुकुल में, टीचर के साथ बैठता था, उठता था, खाता था, पीता था. And 3 permanent teachers. 1:40, 70, 80, 90. How much of time can individual attention can a teacher give to a student? And then really for us in Kashmir, whosoever wants to go to college goes to the college, irrespective of 9 couldn't even make to the degree colleges in Delhi. So you have thousands and millions of students outside these classrooms who cannot find, for an ideal situation wherein the teacher and the taught can be put together. So saying the technology is not there to replace a teacher. Nobody can replace a teacher. It can be supplementary, it can be complementary, educational resources. A teacher and the same technology can be used to magnify the reach of the teacher beyond his class. And I will demonstrate that, once I go ahead. So technology by itself, as I said, you see, we are made to believe that television is an idiot box. Television is my favorite domain, with capital E. Endless film-based programs. Television is a non-serious activity, television viewing. Because when you watch television, you will see it in the night, he will see it in the daytime. Anytime it is convenient to him, he can go and watch this program. And these programs are also being parallelly streamed Consortium for Educational Communication, and I will give you the address of that also later. And then IITs have also launched what's called the Eklavya television channel. And Eklavya television again is a satellite channel, and it is also available. The problem with us is that if on Merit Nation I found they encourage students to find answers to the questions. And then if the student's answer is correct, Merit Nation certified answer given by so and so, this kid from so and Kashmir, to every teachers. So we can learn a lot from our own students on the blog. A student can come to the rescue of all of us also sometimes.
Centers and let us put in the syllabus. So we cannot put only the good quality of the journalists.
And identify teachers for them who can teach in the college. Then I gave them the idea that instead of having this MCVP where you teach social
own level, he thinks that I have read enough about a particular topic. I don't think a teacher can know more than me now. So there has been a gap now. Now my question is, when we talk of usage of internet, has it really told upon the creativity of students vis-a-vis the creativity of teachers?
We will be glued to TV for 4 hours from 6 to 10. In the neighbors will join us because there are a limited number of television sets available, and I come from a small village, attending a party somewhere, and 2 of my cousins were with me. And at 7 they pulled me out of that television, and we used to waste a lot of time with TV. In today's date, you have full day Chitrahar going on 5 channels to be shown. And all types of film is seen by us full, whether we like it or not. Devdas Pranivali, whenever he goes to internet, his father will just stand behind him. What is he watching on internet? What is he going? What is he seeing? Those were the days, in fact, when much of education material was also not available. It was more of newspapers, more of... I'm not a kid, though he was a kid, fifth class student. I know how to, where to go and where not to go. Why is he peeping every time and watching me doing these things? The kid called the police and his father was in the lockup for 24 hours. Because in USA, they have very good this policing system because we are very caring, fathers, caring mothers, caring uncles. So in the police they have a number. So if you get a ring from a child that he is getting a family, I can see kids like that. Nobody is peeping, and they are making use of the internet and other things, for the good. because it finally stabilizes somewhere. You will waste initially some time on the internet on going पानी ना ये अच्छा वाला पानी पैक करके स्कूल जाके फेंकते हैं नलके से पानी पीता है. मैंने कहा Arrow have to develop his own immunity. The same hold is good for this. Let us try and believe our kids. They will develop their immunity, but we have to help them to develop that immunity in terms of giving them some good moral education and channelizing them to watch good things on internet and benefit from good things from internet rather than wasting their time on the YouTube watching the thrillers and other things. I mean that's how we can have it. We cannot now in today's day it is not possible that we will put if a police from Anantnag in a park. It's not possible because now the access to information and the knowledge is tremendous. Let us try to utilize and channelize our talent, how best they can make use of technology. Definitely, as you said, in fact, I also referred to it, that it has become some sort of a cut and paste, this. Referring to that, the teaching pedagogy has changed. One of the complaints that we get from most of the college and even the university also we are facing it, attendance in class is very thin.
I request Dr. Ali Muhammad Dar to please.
College, I personally feel that I have learned a lot from his lecture. Till date, I was not knowing anything about this electronic cottage. Now I came to know that how we can download, how we can get information from these electronic cottage instruments. This has been told, this has been narrated by Shahid Rasool, who is the director of EMMRC. I'm very, very thankful to his colleagues who organized this kind of program, and I hope these programs shall be again and again shall organized in our colleges and in different parts of the valley, so that everyone can be acquainted with this new technology, with this new information. With these words, I'm again and again thank Professor Shahid for organizing this kind of program in our college. Though yesterday only I came to know that this kind of program may be organized by EMMRC tomorrow, and I have been told to say something about this program. I am very thankful. I hope that my colleagues, my students might have learned a lot from this program. I am again thankful to Dr. Shahid Rasool for organizing this kind of program in my college. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Overnight. The wheel were rolling weeks ago, and it requires planning and bird's eye for details. By your presence, we have been given a hope of organizing such type of programs in this college in future also. You have renewed our determination that we are going in the right direction. I, on behalf of EMMRC, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all of you by gracing the occasion and sharing with us your thoughts and aspirations. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for all well-wishers who have helped and cooperated with us in organizing the program. We are highly thankful to worthy Vice Chancellor Professor Tarak Ahmed for encouraging us to organize such type of activities in different districts of the state. We are highly thankful to Director CEC Professor Rajveer Singh, who in fact has given this idea of introducing media centers to different colleges to make best use of the work done by them. We are highly thankful to Anantnag for his keen interest and cooperation in the organization of this event. He, by gracing the occasion, has really made this event meaningful and has encouraged us for their encouragement and participation. We are highly thankful to Commissioner Dr. Shahid Rasool, who is always giving us the right direction in organizing events like these. It's under his leadership that our center has become one of the best centers at the national level and is continuously making its mark and taking leads in all directions. No program can become successful unless it's not properly planned and packaged. Sincere thanks to Dr. Salima Jan, research scientist in EMMRC, who has made our job very easy by designing this program creatively. I am highly thankful to senior faculty members of this college and NSS program officer, Dr. Rehana and Dr. Iqbal, who have been cooperating with me since the study in all arrangements we have made here. I am highly thankful to NSS program officer, GDC Tral, Dr. Bashir Ahmed Shah Saab, who has also encouraged me in organizing today's program. I am thankful to all the faculty members of the 4 colleges and NSS volunteers and their students who were present here in this hall.